Life feels crowded with endless deadlines, social expectations, and constant pressure to achieve more. But what if the real secret lies in clarity, peace, and purpose? Comes down to four main principles or priorities. Today's episode, I'm going to look at four key principles that I think will help you: family, faith, friends, and functions. Yes, faith, family, friends, and function. These four pillars or principles shape our direction, decision, and legacy that we leave behind. What is important, not only the four principles, but the sequence in which we actually apply them to our lives. Let me break down why these four principles matter and how they can transform your life starting today. Years ago, when I was working for the United Nations and hit a wall, stretching myself between work, travel, responsibilities, time, family, I felt overwhelmed and tired and disconnected. So I spoke to one of my mentors, and then he asked me a question. David, what are your four priorities in life? Wow, that sort of hit me. Immediately, I did not have an answer for him. I had to think through it for a bit. I think I mentioned a couple of family, friends, but not in the sequence or order in which it applies to my life. That conversation sparked a whole journey in the way that I look at life and helped me to have a frame that guides what I do in life. And these are the four F's or four principles that I was talking about. First, I consider faith. That's the first principle in my life. And then the second, it's family. The third, it's friends. And then finally, function. Functions are basically our roles, the work we do to earn a living. So once I understood these four principles or pillars and the way I sequence them in my life, my decision-making process became easy, and I was a bit more clear in my mind in terms of what exactly I wanted in life and also the balance that I also want to see in my life. So I'm going to share with you four lessons that I've actually learned out of that. The first, as I mentioned, it's faith. Faith anchors you, it centers you, and it's more of like your guiding light for what you do in life. And it's basically the belief system that grounds you. I am a Christian, whatever belief system that grounds you. It may be spiritual, it may be moral, it may be a sense of purpose, but everybody needs to have something bigger than yourself that you stand on or you stand for. And for me, faith comes first, because faith gives us direction, courage, clarity, hope, and character. So essentially, these are some of the attributes of faith that sort of anchors me in my life. So without faith, life, in my opinion, becomes noisy, full of confusion, full of questions that you don't have answers to. But with faith, life gains meaning. So essentially, faith asks or answers the question, who am I? What am I here for? And what do I stand for? So that for me is at the top of everything. And then next, as I mentioned, it's family. Family, that's my first responsibility. And then also to my first community. Family is where love begins and identity grows, in my opinion. It's not a perfect family that I look up for, but family in its sense, in terms of the people that I am responsible for, and the people that depend on me, and also the people that gives me emotional grounding. So family is something that ranks high in the order of the four principles to me, because family gives me support, and I also have a sense of belonging in a family. The role of accountability to my immediate family, my sons, my wife, and extended family, and also the unconditional love I have to show all of them. So, you can win awards, you can gain promotions, you can earn money that you want. But I bet you, if you lose your family along the way, you lose what matters. Family is your home base, so you better take action to protect it. Next in the sequence for me, it's friends, and that's the circle of influence. Friends are very important, but you have to choose them carefully. Friends shape your mindset, your decision, your habits, and there are three key things that friends provide. Friends provide support to you. They stand with you. That's good. Friends stand with you whenever there are issues or there are challenges, even in good times. Friends also stretch you. They challenge you. They sometimes, they know your skills and potential, and they will tell you, "Oh, Dave, you can do this." Then that gives you a bit of a challenge to be able to pursue whatever lies ahead of you. Sometimes we all feel it. You have this inner voice telling you things that you can't do it, you are not enough, but friends can sort of remind you of your potential and your ability to do anything. And then friends are there to inspire. They also inspire you. So you have to be careful with friends. There are wrong friends also. There are friends that will try to drain you. But the right friends will always build you up, lift you up. So basically your friends somehow determines your future and more or less the environment around you. So choose your friends wisely. And then the last of the four, which is function, that's basically the work that I do or what brings money or food to the table. That is the function that I'm referring to. So this is the assignment that I do, and it answers the question, what value do I bring to whatever I'm doing? Who do I help, and how am I going to help that person? And what problems do I want to solve in work? So those are some of the questions that in my day-to-day functions I try to do. And more importantly, there's always this question that I keep on asking myself, which is, how do I leave a legacy? And then how do I thrive in the functions that I do? So I also try as much as possible to ensure that my function aligns with my faith, my family, and then friends. So that's one thing that I try to, and when I do that, work becomes healthier for me, and because it's connected to a purpose, and not because I am under pressure to do what I've got to do to be able to earn a living. So functions without faith, basically, to me, is empty. Work without faith, it's empty, in my opinion. And functions without family, you become alone. You get all that it takes, all the accolades and everything, but nobody to enjoy with. And then family or friends without friends is just exhausting. Because sometimes you need a push, you need an advice, you need a challenge from a good friend to be able to get you moving. So how do you apply this frame, which I refer to as principles? Faith, family, friends, and function. For me, the order is very important, and I believe the order will determine how you succeed. So first of all, I normally start my day with faith-related issues. I take a moment of silence, word of gratitude and other things that puts me in the faith mode. And then that is either on a daily basis or in my strategic or long-term planning as well. And then family comes first. Family comes second, sorry. So family sort of shapes how I do my work, either present or in the future. Because my focus is always to be present with my family, be available for them, and be consistent in what I do or the actions that I engage with my family. And then friends, as I mentioned earlier, friends, they strengthen you. Circle of friends, good friends will help you grow, not only in your assigned tasks or things you want to do, but in your character as well, because they hold your back and they'll be able to see what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And as I said earlier, they also challenge you. Good friends don't allow for excuses. They make sure you are on track and you're on course, and they hold you accountable for your actions. And then align your functions with your values. Your work should reflect your values or your faith, not that the world that you want to be. So make sure or try as much as possible, depending upon your situation, to see how best you can align those four principles, and I promise you get the best out from them. So before I finish, I want to ask you this question: which of the four principles are you neglecting, and what is the sequence that you have for the four principles? Faith, family, friends, and functions. And what steps are you taking or going to take to make sure there is a balance between all the four principles? Faith, family, friends, and functions. This is Small Insight, Big Impact with Dr. Tsetse. Live with clarity, live with purpose, honor the 4 F's, and see you in the next episode.